Yesterday, Paul Pierce said some dumb stuff. Just, you know what? I don't even know if he said dumb stuff. He's just a salty dog. You know what that is? Like, you're just like, all right, I see you, Paul Pierce. Because you want to know something? It's not that Paul Pierce said what he said. Robbie, could you refresh everybody's memory? Because this Leroy was alerted to me this yesterday, exclusively reported to me by Leroy Horde. Now lieutenant in the Peacock posse.
No,
Peacock Pirate posse. First mate. First mate. Welcome him aboard, Robbie. Welcome him aboard. Give him his sword, give him his handkerchief. Make him an official pirate. Bring him aboard. But Paul Pierce, he had this to say on the jump yesterday.
Paul, do you agree with the great Pat Riley? How close is this Heat roster from another ring?
I mean, if the Miami Heat are close, that means every team in the NBA is close. But
Paul Pierce.
I don't think they're close.
Wow.
No, seriously though. When you're close, let me tell you when you're close. You're close if you have a top 5 player playing on your team. That is the main ingredient. I said this, and I always say this, with the exclusion of the Detroit Pistons, who won in the early 2000s. So
now, he's a salty dog. Because you want to know something? It's, you know what? If am I ever going to expect Paul Pierce to give the Heat credit? No, never. Because he's Paul Pierce. All right. A1 jerk. But the way you say it, where you're like, well, if the Heat are close, every team's close. It's like, nah, bro. You want to know something? They got 2 All-Stars. All right. They got some of the best rookies in the league. They got one of the best shooters on the planet. How about they actually have a lot of talent on the team? It's not just Jimmy Butler and them boys.
And
that's not the roster.
And they also beat some of the best teams in the East. So
they've whooped them.
I don't know how that would show up in a 7-game series, but they have proof that they can beat them.
Yeah, they have made Giannis look human. They have beaten the Raptors. They've given all these teams their first home loss. I mean, except for his beloved Boston Celtics, the only team that he'd haven't beaten this year, top team in the East. They've owned the Philadelphia 76ers.
Right.
Yeah, it's just coming from him. Not a shock. He never wants to give the Heat any credit. He wants to just scoff at it, be like, psh, Jimmy Butler's not in the class of those guys. It's like, yeah, okay. But Jimmy Butler's also has Bam. How many teams have a duo in the East right now?
Not to mention Duncan, not to mention that they've never had a full squad all year. So like sometimes depending on who says it, you just move on. I'm not even like he could have said, like, look, if I look at all the other teams above them, they all have that superstar.
Right.
All right. And if you want to be honest, I think Siakam's on the same level as Jimmy Butler, where can be great players in moments, but not all the time. Not a top 5 player, even though Siakam's on the way up. He must be saying the same thing about Toronto also.
But like, is he saying the same thing about Philadelphia? Because are you considering Joel Embiid, who's never in shape, a top 5 player?
Right.
Are you
considering who's a top 5 player in Boston?
Jason Tatum might be a top 5 player one day,
but he's in the same boat as Siakam, right? To where yes, they have their moments, but
I'm sure
game on the line. Am I rolling the ball out and saying, "Go get me a bucket," and you're gonna do it consistently to make you a top 5 player?
Or are you gonna give it to Tyrion Lannister, aka Kemba Walker?
Come on.
What?
Wait. Let me tell you. He's not a top 5 player, but dude could get it.
Of course,
right?
Yeah. Kemba Walker's great.
Right. So of all the guys, of all the teams, I would say the guy between the Heat, the Heat, Toronto, and Boston, I would say the guy closest to that, the guy closest to, I know when it gets to go time, gets to the playoffs, he's gonna get his, and he could carry a team. It would be him. It would be Kemba Walker. That guy's always done it.
Yeah, but not in the playoffs, though. Not in the playoffs where he's not in the playoffs. What's Kemba Walker done in the playoffs?
Because he's with Charlotte.
So
He's when you
he's
play
also
with Charlotte,
hold on,
35
hold
points
on.
don't mean nothing.
He's also tiny, and
Okay.
that doesn't help. When he gets to the playoffs, that bleep doesn't help.
Okay, but dude, he's still. Are you serious?
What?
Any part of what I just said not accurate, and your
He
only
gets
comeback
buckets.
is he's tiny.
He gets buckets, and he
He's
hasn't
not
had any
called
playoff
buckets
success.
because he's tiny. Dude still gets buckets.
Nah.
Really?
He's not gonna get last possession when Bam's draped all over him. He won't get buckets.
Okay, but up
I will
to this
say this,
point in
though.
his career, like everybody has said that, and
I will
he's
say
still
this.
gotten buckets.
For because we were talking about his Celtics. Garnett was still a top 5 guy at the time. Like he was third most valuable player, 1 defensive player of the year that year. You know, so he was behind Kobe, who won, Chris Paul, just ahead of LeBron that year, who was the reigning MVP. So I'll allow it with the 08 Celtics.
But I bet
you know who it wasn't.
He's
It wasn't
thinking about himself.
Yeah, it wasn't Paul Pierce.
I bet you he's thinking about himself. And I would have felt a little differently about his comments about needing a top 5 player if he would have said we had Garnett. Right?
I would too. But he's
You
not.
ain't know. He thinks Garnett came and joined me.
It's like, it's not really how it worked out. He traded for you guys. That's why everybody didn't get mad at you guys, because you guys were all traded for. It's all that's how it worked out. I will say this though, people with Pat Riley's comments, like, look, Pat, you got to realize with Pat's always doing things to send a message. It's not like, yes, Pat always believes his team's going to compete because that's who he is, but he's also doing that to try and motivate his guys. Whenever they get back out there, he doesn't want them to lose sight of what they could be this year, because they've done a lot of good things. Remember when I was interviewing him, I asked him when he started talking about championships, and because he mentioned something like this earlier when we talked in February with the Godfather. I didn't ask him about what he thinks of his roster. I asked him what he thought that weekend meant for his players. And he just does it in his Pat Riley movie. He goes, I don't care what your question is. I'm going to say my Pat Riley stuff here. Here comes the wisdom. And that's what he'll do. And so when Pat Riley goes and tells you, back then, none of the experts think we can win a championship, he's doing an us against the world type of thing to try and keep that edge, because one, that's how his face of the franchise right now, Jimmy Butler, that's how that guy lives life. It's us against the world. He wants Bam Adebayo to keep that chip on his shoulder. Greg Popovich cut you. He wants Duncan Robinson to say no one wanted you. You're trying to keep that eye of the tiger kind of thing. And so when he says, maybe we need more, maybe we need less, and everybody thinks, old man saying crazy things, which, by the way, you all did when he said the obstacles thing, when he was out here saying, there are no obstacles. Well, there are some of them, and there are tons, but there are none. And you're all like, dude is losing it. He's crazy. Pat's going a little loony. What does that mean? Obstacles, none, done, somewhat. What does that mean? Try and keep up. When he's saying that the cupboard is full, all right, he's saying his heart is full. And when he's saying we need maybe more, we need less, he's saying, hey, maybe I need to go get an orca, or maybe you guys can prove to me I don't need to go get an orca. That's on you, playa.
There's no obstacles. Yep. Well, there are tons of them, but there are none.
Why?
What?
Why?
What? You just, here's the thing, all right? People listen to Pat Riley, but they don't hear him. They don't hear Pat Riley.
Oh, you a Pat Riley whisperer?
People listen to Pat Riley and they say, oh, the Godfather, which I've done. Let me trust you. And being in his presence, I mean, that guy, it's very intimidating, captivating, and all wrapped into one.
Smells like aftershave.
Oh, he has an aura about him. But you got to hear what he's saying. And when Robbie, do you have the comments from yesterday about the cupboard? Because he's saying the cupboard is full. We have put together what we have not had, which is talent. I will say that this Heat team, as far as talent is concerned, look, top 5 player. The Heat had a top 5 player in Dwayne Wade. I'm talking pre-Big 3, post-Shaq. The best Dwayne Wade on the planet arguably, was off injury in 08-09 and 09-10 before we got LeBron James. That guy was incredible. Had a great argument for MVP. Of course, I'm going to think that he was snubbed by MVP, which they gave to LeBron James. But he was the scoring champion. He was unstoppable. Go look at his running mates in that year, okay? And tell me who he had that was as good that's on this roster right now, because it doesn't exist. Not even close. If you would have had Dwayne Wade paired with any of the other guys on this team, Jimmy, Bam, if he had a shooter as good as Duncan Robinson, do you know what kind of damage that team would have been able to do? I mean, he was out there with like the corpse of Jermaine O'Neal, Sean Marion, who shoots like a top, Michael Beasley, who, you know, was being Michael Beasley. You know, that, I mean, it's crazy.
But we feel confident that the cupboard's full. And what I mean by full is that we do have a lot of very good young players who have proven that they can play at a real high level in this game, and they're fearless. And yes, we're very concerned about our pending free agents. We like all of our players. And so when we get to that time, that we'll know what direction we want to go in, and we want to build, again, I want to build a championship team. I don't have much patience, you know me, and I want to build another championship team, and we're close. Maybe we need another player. You know, maybe we need less. I don't know. Point is that we're right there, and we're a contender, and I'm proud of that.
Exactly.
Hey.
Exactly.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why, when Pat Riley started talking, you look at me and tap your ear?
Because I want you to, because you're listening. I want you to hear what he's saying. I need you to clear it. And Paul Pierce, you know, he likes to say these such things. Look, can you really? Let's be honest. Can you really take anything the guy says seriously that has his own chant? All right. All right. There's three chants when you go to the American Airlines Arena now. All right. There's "Let's go Heat, let's go Heat, let's go Heat." There's defense, defense, defense. And then, of course, as we all know, there's Paul Pierce sucks, Paul Pierce sucks, Paul Pierce sucks. Three chants, Leroy. Three chants. I'm not listening to that guy when he scoffs at the Heat's chances. You want to know why? He does it with hate in his heart. He's a jerk.
I'm regret that I brought this to your attention.
I'm glad you're aboard. Thank you for alerting me to these comments. Thank you for letting me know. That's why I got you, all right? Quadruple P, all right? Peacock Posse Pirate, First Mate, Prior, Post.
I'm your hand.
Yeah. Hand of the pirate.
Do I get the pin?
Yep.
A little pin.
Squawk.
So yeah,
beautiful.